Yo, this man just hit me in my face with a brick, and all these black men just watched. And they don't.
What's going on, my good people? It's your boy JJTP, and I'm here today to give you a commentary on this situation, which has been taking the internet by storm this weekend. This story has been all over the place, so I'm here to give you my perspective as a lawyer, not your lawyer still, also still a super lawyer, but today also as a federal agent. So stand by and let's get after it. Let's start with this commentary is going to be and what it's not going to be. What it's not going to be is some type of red pill, blame the women, blame the victim type of situation. I'm in no way, I want to be clear up front, no way justifying what happened to this young lady, accusing her, victim blaming, or saying the person, man, whatever, who did this was in any way right or justified. However, what I am going to do is give you my perspective as both a lawyer and a federal agent. That's not something I talk about very often, and maybe I've hinted at it from time to time in videos where you'll see I don't talk about certain things from certain perspectives because I will get my hand slapped because I'm not allowed to speak publicly about certain things, even though I do joke about other things. But I think I'm pretty much in the clear here. And I think what's important here is a very important public commentary on what is and what is not safe. Because I listened to a bunch of lives on this, and people don't seem to understand the law. They have a very, very big misconception about how things work. And so what I'm gonna do here is, in a very raw sense, with minimum outtakes, try to just talk about the situation as I see it from my perspective and give you guys some of the actual legal background and legal stuff that kind of goes along with this, and also some realities which some people don't seem to understand. So the first thing, as I do it live here, is let's start as I try to solve all these situations with the facts, right? Because I don't want to deal in worlds where too much, where there are no facts. Right? The facts need to be the baseline of our discussion. So let's tell the story, or let the young lady tell the story from her perspective.
Ever done to anybody in my life to deserve this? I never did anything in my life to hurt anybody. Literally, a man asked me for my number. I said no, and he picked up a brick in front of so many men and was like, what are you gonna do? And I told all these men, like, yo, why is this man got a brick on my face? And he's holding a brick, and all these is watching, and nobody does nothing. And he hits me in my face, and then they're all just watching, and they let that get in the car. How is this okay? This is what y'all doing to women? Like, don't understand. Like, I'm just trying to take my friend out from 5 years ago. Like, literally spending my whole money, not bothering nobody. Like, what the is this? I'm in the parking lot just trying to buy some food. And like, I'm literally like, why is this bossing up on me like this? And I'm looking at all these. They literally let this do all of this. I don't even care about my face because I'm still gonna be prettier than all of y'all because I have a pretty heart. But my heart is broken, y'all. My heart is broken because I will stand up for any of y'all. I stand up for everybody. I stand up for everybody. And nobody ever stands up for me. And my heart is...
So there you have her version of the story. This man approached her asking for her phone number. When she said no, he picked up a brick and went upside of her head. No, not making light of the situation, but that's what basically she said. So how did this thing start, right? And how does it finish? Well, we all see what's happening here, that she's in the hospital. This is a bad situation. No one should put their hands on anyone. But let's go back to the scene and see what happened there. So let's play that tape.
Yeah, this man hit me grabbed a rock and it hit me in my face because I would have given him my number. And all y'all just watch. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? What y'all gonna do? I want y'all to be a man. I want y'all to be a man and do something. Y'all gonna let a man hit me in my face. All y'all.
All right. So there's a lot to unpack there. And again, I just want to give you guys my raw take on this. So a lot of things were being said in that commentary. First, she's obviously saying that this man hit her in the face. He got in his car and he just drove off. And these men, I'm going to take race out of this thing because this is not about race. This is about just generally here. So let's talk about what happened. Forget the race part. These men were sitting there and they watched it and they did nothing. And she asked them, they asked her, well, what did you want me to do? She says, I want you to be a man. I want you to be a man and do something about it. But again, there's just so much to unpack here. So let's talk about a little bit of the red pill idea. I want you to be a man and I want you to do something about it. Ma'am, how many women have we heard say, I don't need a man for anything. You men are no good. You men are worthless. Oh, we don't need men. Oh, we don't need men for anything.
I hope every black woman is kissing another black woman because we are the innate protectors and the providers. We protect societies, we protect communities with our intellectual property, with our lived experiences, with our breast milk, with our bodies. We're the ones. And the two. Not even the three. Because men are not providers and protectors, not innately, because they only protect what they possess. But we protect everybody, and we provide, baby, okay? So I hope you catch a girl tonight, because I hope I do. Ew. And don't forget, before there was feminism, it was lesbians who were living those lives without worried about like they were not worried about. They were decentering men. So before there was feminism, there were lesbians.
But here, you say, I want you to be a man. I want you to step up. I want you to defend me. But that's what men have been saying for a long time. That's the whole point. Now, my friend, we hang out all the time. We take both walks. We discuss kind of these topics. And she always tells me, or one of the comments that I hear from her is, well, if men didn't exist, we didn't need anyone to protect us from because men commit all the crimes. That's the go-to line. But men do exist. Men exist. Men will always exist. If men don't exist, then the human species don't exist. Will not exist, I should say. And frankly, if men don't exist, the human species won't exist. And the same can be said about women. I want to say it again. The same can be said about women. Women act like they don't need men, but they do. And you know what? Men, we need women too. So we need to find a way to work together to fix these things in society. This idea of I don't need a man, I can do bad all by myself doesn't work. And it doesn't work for this reason. Again, I'm gonna, dance on the line of getting in trouble here. But I say this, I'll tell the story. I'll tell it. I think it was 6 women in my class at FLETC, the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, and 5 of them failed firearms. 5 out of 6. They had to take it again. One got kicked out completely, had to recycle and go to another class because she could not shoot straight. She couldn't shoot straight. And another one just shot the hood out of a car. It was a disaster. And I don't say those stories lightly, and I won't put names to them. But I can tell you right now that woman who shot the window of the car and did all those things, she's a gun. She's a gun. She's a federal agent. And the reason why is because we set these standards much lower. If you look at the FBI standards, for example, for men versus women, and passing the FBI basic standards test for what we call a physical fitness test, or PFT, whatever, to get in the agency, the women's standards are much lower. It's almost as if they're saying, oh, look, I'm running, but I see behind me, oh, look, the person chasing me is a woman, so let me slow down a bit. I'm not here to talk about affirmative action. I'm not here to say that. But the fact of the matter is, women are just not as strong as men. They're not. And so when you look and you say, who are the people defending you? Who are the law enforcement people? Who are the people in the military? Who are the people who are firefighters? Who are the people in these critical jobs? Garbage collectors, the linesmen who run your internet cable, the people who drill the gas, the roughnecks, these people like that. These are men. They're men. And those people are generally paid a lot better. That's where you get a wage gap. But again, I'm not going to turn this into some type of red pill fest going after this. Let's talk about the topic at hand. Because the topic at hand is, her comment was, where are the men to defend me? But I can almost guarantee, I can hear her being the same type of woman who says, I don't need a man. I don't need a man. I can do bad by myself. And that's the problem. The idea that so many of these women walk around with this sense of, I don't need a man and I can just do whatever, because you live a life of privilege that's being facilitated by men in very large part. Those police officers who you think are going to protect you, probably men. When your house, if it catches fire, God forbid, guess what? It probably is a man. And the person who drilled the gas to put in your car because you drive to work because you can do all that, it was a man probably. I think it's like 90, I don't want to give statistics, someone could fact check it, but 90+% of those roughnecks drilling, oil drillers, are men. So without the men, you would have no gas to put in your car. Without the men, I'm not saying they're not some big girls. I just came from the climbing gym. I'm still dripping wet. Some of the girls in my gym are tough, man. They climb better than I do. I've seen some pretty tough girls in class and whatever the case may be. Some of them bigger than me. But that's not the general census. We don't talk about the one-offs, two-offs. Let's talk about and stay in the line of the on the bell curve, the center. And the center for men are bigger. Men are stronger. That's why you want men to protect you. But what you think you're going to get is free protection, because men are just going to be there to protect you and you don't have to do anything for it, because in society, that's what we've been conditioned to believe. But here we have this situation where there was no man. And what happened? She turned around, bow, in the head with a brick. And then she looked and she said, wait, how'd this happen? Where are the men? This is not supposed to happen to me. And it was a wake-up call for her, because she felt entitled, and I'm going to say that word again, entitled to a man's protection. Just listen to her words. Because you know what? I'm going to actually stop. I'm going to play it again. I want you to listen to her words. What she said to these men who are not related to her. By the way, you can actually listen to the video. There are women there as well. But she didn't say the women didn't protect her. I want you to listen to what she said.
Yo, this man just hit me in my face with a brick, and all these black men just watch, and they don't give a
brick is.
Yeah, this man hit me, grabbed a rock, and he hit me in my face because I would have given him my number.
What the brick
and
is?
all y'all just watch.
What you
Y'all see that?
What you
Y'all see that? What y'all do? I want y'all to be a man.
I
I want y'all to be a man and do something. Y'all gonna let a man hit me in my face? All y'all.
I want y'all to be a man. I bleeped out as much cursing as I can, but I want y'all to be a man and protect me. You're supposed to do something. You're a man. But why, man? Why? What obligation do I have to you? What obligation do I have to you? Because as a man, I have an obligation to me. I have an obligation to my family. I have an obligation to my friends, maybe. But you, ma'am, I don't know you. Why, random woman on the street, do I have an obligation to you? And this is where I think things are going to get interesting, because people, I hope you listen to this part, you're going to learn something. Because I will tell you that as a police officer, as a law enforcement officer, I don't have an obligation to protect you. I don't have an obligation. I'm going to say it again. I don't have an obligation to protect you. In fact, consequently, you know what we're actually taught? Do not intervene. It's not my job. Definitely not as a federal agent, maybe a street cop, a little bit more, but as a federal agent, not my job. I don't get involved in that. You know what I can be is a good witness. I can choose by my own choice to get involved, and that would be on me, but I don't have to. And I've seen this story. In fact, I'll even tell a story that I probably shouldn't tell publicly, but who cares? No one watched my videos anyway. So I'll, just shoot the story really quickly, leave things out. I was in front of one of our buildings, and we have uniformed police officers in my agency, and we have people like me who are federal agents. And you wouldn't know that I was a federal agent walking down the street, right? I mean, I have a badge that sits here, maybe, my gun, like that, baton. I'm dressed just like jeans and a t-shirt, basically. And listen, tell a little bit more about myself. I'm from the Bronx, so I heard the beef. I heard the beef. I was like, oh, it's about to go down. The biker was coming down the avenue in New York, and he almost clipped a construction worker, right? Almost clipped him. And the construction worker says something, well, what are you doing, da-da-da? So I heard it as a Bronx head. I was like, yo, what's going on? So I look, and I see the beef, and he stops in front of our building. And in front of our building, we have uniformed police officers. And this guy thought these uniformed police officers were going to protect him. They thought that they were law enforcement. So he stops, and he starts mouthing off, blah, 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 X, Y, Z, can't say this part on YouTube, da-da-da-da-da, right? And I'm watching the construction worker come flying down the block. He's running down, jokes my boy off the bike, bang against the car, pop, pop, pop. I was like, oh, before I could even say anything, he done got tapped like 2 or 3 times. And I was like, yo. So my first reaction was, because this is my mentality, not everyone's like me, was yo, chill. And I pointed to my badge. And I pulled my shirt up and I pointed to my badge. I was like, get off him. And he looks at me and he looks down and sees the badge. He's like, yo, oh no, officer. Because he was talking. I was like, yo, get off the block, yo. Down in your corner, you get off the block. And here comes the victim. Now he feels he's safe, right? Because I'm standing there. Yeah, that's right, da-da-da. And officer, I want to press charges. I'm not a police officer. I'm a federal agent. I'm not a police officer. I told him, I was like, I'm not a police officer. Leave. No. There's a police post, NYPD post right there. You can go press charges. You can go tell them report what you want to report. I'm not a police officer. Leave. No, you gotta take my report. No, I don't. In fact, I don't even have to protect you. No, see, that's why all cops are pigs and da-da-da. He's all in my face now. I just saved this man's life. He's in my face. And, I want your badge. I don't have a badge number. I'm a federal agent. Oh no, see, you know what, bro, playboy? Yo. And I walked away. I hope he was safe afterwards, because the fact of the matter is, I don't have to help him. And I'm gonna give you this case law that shows that. So I'm gonna give you 2 case citations, and excuse the iPad light here shining on my face. And I'm gonna put them on the screen, so you guys can go and do your own research. But the 2 cases I want you guys to take a look at. If you don't believe me, because why not? Why? You should never believe me. You should always do your own research. DeShanti v. Winnebago and Town of Castle Rock v. Gonzalez. And in both of these cases, the Supreme Court made clear that police agencies and police officers do not have any obligation to protect any citizen at all. And I will caveat that with the exception of if you're in my custody. If you're in my custody, I have to protect you. But if you're not in my custody, if I'm standing right here and I look over to my right and I saw this same girl and a guy picked up a brick and went across her head, I don't have to do anything. Not even as a federal agent or a police officer. The Supreme Court has made clear I can pick and choose when I want to intervene to help people and save their lives, and when I don't have to. So even if as a police officer, I don't have to do anything, why do you think that just because somebody's a man, they have to? Think about that. I've watched a lot of lives about this situation, and in each one, it generally breaks down into 2 camps. There are women on one side saying, you're not a real man if you don't protect us, and this is why we don't feel safe around you guys. And men saying, I have no duty to protect you unless you're me or my family. So a lot of things are thrown out in these videos. And one thing that I've heard multiple times, and it seems like nobody understands, is the idea of a Good Samaritan law. So Good Samaritan laws, which I did a video on, which I'll post somewhere around the comments. And it's a longer video and it's a little bit less serious than this video, but it's a little more comical. But it gives you actually a little bit more depth into the concept than what I'm going to give you here. But in general, Good Samaritan laws are laws that say that either A, you have the duty to protect other people who are put in peril, or B, you may protect those people and you won't have any type of liability if you do. The former, where you have to actually protect people, is not as common. I believe there are 4 states that have that type of law, and I would have to actually look it up. In my other video, I speak to it specifically, but they are, and I have it written down, Minnesota, Vermont, and Rhode Island. So only 3 states, technically. So in those states, generally speaking, for example, in Minnesota, it's a petty misdemeanor if you don't call 911 when you see someone in help or who needs help. And in Vermont, you can get up to a $100 fine. Obviously, places like California, Nevada, which are a little bit more left-leaning, have considered those laws, but they have not passed them. Here in my home state of New York, under New York Public Health Law 3000, let me pull my notes up here, 3000, there is a also a immunity that's granted if you do help somebody. And the idea behind that is, I want to read it directly here. It says, furnishing of medical assistance in an emergency is a matter of vital concern affecting the public health, safety, and welfare. Pre-hospital emergency medical care, the provision of prompt and effective communication among ambulance and hospitals, and the safe and effective care of transportation of the sick and injured are essential public health services. So because of that concept, because of that public policy, there is a general immunity if you help someone in need, but it doesn't require you to actually help them. So this idea that you have to help someone because you see them being assaulted is ridiculous. And as I said, not even as a law enforcement officer do I have to help you. But imagine you're standing there and you see this person getting beat up and you jump in. And imagine what happens. Imagine that person beats on you, right? Now you're injured. Or worse, they pull a on you. And now you don't come home to your family. Well, that was a choice that this young man said he had. And he told his story on TikTok as well. So I'm gonna roll that tape in its entirety. He has a couple videos and I'm gonna let you guys listen and then we'll come back to this.
I was one of the guys who was there that did not help her when she was getting hit with the brick, right? I feel like people need to know the whole story before they start commenting and say things they don't understand or they don't know. You guys don't even remember who you guys are trying to defend, who you guys are trying to speak up for. This is the same woman that was going around smacking white people in the streets. She's not innocent. She was actually taunting the guy to hit her. Why would I go defend somebody that's actually looking for trouble? This woman, she is literally a troublemaker. Everybody that knows her in our community knows she's a troublemaker. I'm not gonna risk my life over somebody that's actually out there looking for trouble. If you go on social media, online, you're going to see some of her antics videos, taunting people, looking for a reaction. Well, she got what she been looking for, and you guys are giving her the attention that she was actually seeking for. I don't regret not standing up for her. If you look at some of the videos, I was there. I don't regret nothing whatsoever. I don't regret standing up for her. I'm not saying she deserved it. I'm not saying that any man have a right to hit a woman, especially with a brick. Nobody deserves that. But at the end of the day, there's more to the story. She's not as innocent as she's trying to portray herself to be. She wants attention. She's an attention seeker woman. She's trying to go viral, and you guys have given her what she wanted. Yes, she did get hit by a brick. Yes, I saw it. Yes, I was standing by doing nothing. And if that happened again in the same circumstances, I will watch because she's not as innocent as she portrays herself to be. She was taunting the guy. She was calling him all type of names. She was degrading him to a point where he resulted in picking up a brick and hitting him. I don't condone that type of behavior, but once again, she's not as innocent as she portrays herself to be. I literally, I remember a while back, she's posting videos going around in public, literally smacking old white people in the face. For what? And now you get hit by a brick, now you want to cry wolf? And I don't care. You wanted trouble, you got trouble. That's why I'll still buy and watch. How do you know I'm telling the truth? How do you know she was telling the truth? The moment she posted her video, every black woman started vilifying the black men. Everybody was posting it on every social media platform, talking down the black men, how the black men did not protect her. But nobody ever questioned her whatsoever. The same energy you had when you were defending her, when you were out there advocating for her without asking any questions. How come you didn't ask? Where's the proof? Where's the brick that he hit you with? Where's the police report? Why are you recording instead of calling the police? Instead of asking those questions, the moment she posted that video, women automatically believed her. But now I post a video telling my truth, telling what I saw, and people are like, where's your proof? What do you want me to go back to the scene of the crime and pick up the brick and show you, oh, this is the brick that hit her right across her face? Is that what you want? I'm going to use your comment to also address other people. People are calling me a coward. That's okay. You can call me all you want. All I know is I'm alive. I got my health with me right now. I got to go home to my daughter that night. You know what I'm saying? I got to go home to my daughter, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. I'm not about to protect somebody. I am not about to risk my life for somebody that's out there looking for trouble. I'm not saying what happened to her was right. I condone violence. I'm not saying it was right for the guy to hit her with a brick, but all I'm saying is I am not willing to risk my life for somebody that's out there looking for trouble. I have a daughter. I have a family that I gotta go home to. He could have had a gun. Once again, I have a daughter. If that have happened to my daughter, that guy wouldn't be alive. I would be in jail right now. But I'm not gonna risk my life for somebody that's out there looking for trouble. I'm not. And you can believe me or not. That's up to you. The only reason I posted that video in the first place was to show people that there was another side to the story. To tell people to stop vilifying the black men. The same way people are doing to me in the comment section, calling me all type of names. That's all I wanted to do. Not every black person is bad. Not every black man is bad. We want to protect our women, but at what cost? Don't go out there looking for trouble and going oh, the black man is going to protect me. Now you're putting my life in danger. You purposely going out there looking for trouble, waiting for a black man to risk his life for you. She wasn't innocent. I'm not about to risk my life for somebody that's out there looking for trouble. Why are you putting my life in danger? If she cared for the black man, she wouldn't have been putting herself in that position. She would have been causing trouble. But she don't care for the black man. She's out here causing trouble and vilifying the black man, telling him, oh, all y'all black men, how come nobody's protecting me? How come nobody helped me? Why would I risk my life when you're out there looking for trouble? Why? It's you don't have to believe me. But all I'm saying is, I will stand up for the truth no matter who tells the truth. I'm not saying believe. I'm not begging you to believe me. That's your decision to make. But that's my truth. You know what to say? Don't start something you can't finish. If you're going to start something, finish it. But don't start trouble expecting other people to come to your rescue. And nobody owe anybody nothing. I don't owe nobody nothing. If I got beat up in public and nobody helped me, nobody owes me help. I don't owe nobody help. So she started it. She could have walked away. Her friends didn't stop her. Her friends did not intervene. Her friends did not counsel her. But you expect me, a bystander who don't know her, to intervene and risk my life for her? Who is she to me? Who is she to me? Who is she? Who is she that I should intervene in my who is she? I'm confused. Who is she to me that I should waste my life for her? A person that's starting problems. And people keep on stitching my videos, little clips from my videos without stitching the whole thing. I'm not saying what happened to her was okay. Nobody deserves to get hit in the face, whether it's a man or a woman. Nobody deserves to get hit in the face, let alone with a brick. I don't agree with what happened to her. All I'm saying is I was there and I didn't do nothing, and I would do nothing if I was there in the same circumstance. I wouldn't do nothing. I would just watch. Watch. Her friends watch. She didn't record him. She was too busy trying to create a video for you guys to eat up. She didn't record him running away. She didn't record his car. She was too busy doing all that. So why should I? Like, in order for her to protect you, you gotta protect yourself. And just as much as he could have walked away from that situation, she could have also walked away from that situation. But, and what's so unfortunate, nobody is even like trying to look for the guy. I haven't even seen, like, out of all the comments, I haven't even seen nobody, not even one person ask me, do you know him? Like, did you talk to the police to see if they caught him? Like, nobody asked me because nobody really cares. Nobody cares because nobody's even looking for the guy that actually did the deed. Nobody cares. People ask me, how come you didn't do nothing? How come you didn't do this? How come you didn't do that? How come she didn't walk away? How come her friend didn't help? How come she kept on talking? Keep on running your mouth. Like the saying go, mess around and find out. And she found out the hard way. Literally. The hard way. I think I saw some crimson of makeup on that brick. The moment he landed on the floor, there was some makeup still attached to that thing. Like I said, like it's sad the way some of you guys are acting. Like, it's actually not even sad. It's actually comical. It's comical the way grown black people are acting. Like, this is the America we live in. This is the world we live in. You guys are pathetic. You guys are sad. Grow up. You can call me names all you want, but if I had died, how long will you remember me for? How much will you have sent my mom on Cash App or Zelle or Venmo? How much? If I had died, who would have been there for my family? You don't understand. That's what I'm saying. Like, you ain't got nobody. If you ain't got nobody to go home to, if you're willing to go out in public and jump in front of a bullet for a stranger, that's on you. Unfortunately, that is not me. I'm not finna jump in front of a bullet for everybody, let alone a brick. And how dumb was she to stand there and get hit by a brick? And you talking about the police? First of all, somebody did call the police. And why are you talking about me? Where was her friends at? Because she was there with her friends. I didn't see her friends jumping in to protect her. I didn't see her friends going up to her and counseling her. Where was her friends at? How come nobody's asking that? Where was her friends? And how come you're not thinking, out of 20 people, why did nobody have the need or feel the need to go and protect her? Because not everybody was men. There were also women there. If women are for protecting each other, how come no woman jumped in? How come no woman called the police? How come no woman went up there and went, sister, calm down, leave this man alone. You don't want him to do anything that you will regret and he will regret. Sister, walk away from this situation. How come no woman did that? There were women. It wasn't just guys. It wasn't just hanging around a bunch of 20 dudes. There were women there. Black women too. So how come nobody's talking about the black women that were there? So before you say something, check yourself first and check the story and listen. And how come nobody is even asking about the guy that hit her with the brick? Nobody even asked me who he is. Everybody just so focused on me not being there, on me not telling the truth, but nobody's even focused on who actually hit her with the brick. Have anybody even tried to find out who he was? How come I don't see nobody posting him? How come I don't see nobody posting the guy that actually hit her with a brick? How come nobody's asking about him? I'm not victim blaming, but you guys want to be so independent. You guys don't need no man. So when you do get hit on your in your face with a brick this big, because this exact brick that it's not the exact brick, but this was the style of the brick, and he grabbed it like this, and bang! I saw the makeup fall off her face and attach to the brick. I saw the brick fall down. It was like when Beckham scored his last goal. You should have seen the way the brick bended across her face all the way to the cheekbone. I couldn't do nothing about it. I was not going to sacrifice my life for a total stranger who is causing chaos. And I stand with what I said, and I will do it again in a heartbeat. I'll watch as the brick goes across her face and do nothing about it. And I'm not ashamed of it. Once again, I wasn't victim blaming. She don't deserve what she got, but once again, she could have still avoided it. She could have avoided it by walking away and keep her mouth shut. It's that simple. Like, I hate to say it, but it's that simple. Walk away. And she didn't. She kept on talking. She kept on talking. Not everybody is your father. Not everybody is your brother. So watch the way you talk to people in public, because people can react in a different way. Imagine if you had shot been by now. So don't talk crazy to stranger in public and expect a black man to come and protect you.
So he said a lot of things there. And I wasn't there. I assume most of you weren't there. So I don't know what's true and not. And he makes a good point, but I'm going to still make the same point that he's making the counterpoint to. A lot of people have claimed he wasn't there. And I just want to throw that out as a caveat. I don't know what's true. I'm just taking the information that's been given to me, presenting it to you, and applying what the law is and what my personal feelings are, well, a little bit of my personal feelings, but what the law is, and giving you guys a readout of what the situation is. One thing he does say is the same thing that I was getting at. He had a family. He had a family. If he doesn't come home to his family because, you know, something happens to him because he's defending this random person, is she going to cash app him? Is she going to pay for his kids to go to school? Is she going to pay his medical bills? No. And I mean, the other more scandalous stuff that he's saying there, that she's not the victim, that she started the trouble. In some way, she slapped the other man or assaulted the other man at first, and this was a retaliation issue. Again, retaliation, not self-defense, maybe. Depends on how you see the issue. Again, I did a video on that as well, and I'll link that here. Again, I'm not going to tell you it's one of my best videos. It's a little bit older. It's got a little bit less polish to it. But as a general quick refresher, self-defense is not retaliation. Retaliation is the idea that you get your lick back after someone got a lick on you. Self-defense is using reasonable force to defend yourself or others. So yes, if some man were to have intervened and fought the other man, that could indeed be self-defense, but it may not be self-defense if he used unreasonable force. So again, we're not going to talk about all that because again, this video is going to be it's probably over 20 already, probably an hour, 2 hours long, and no one's going to watch it. But I want you guys to get a feel for all the legal concepts that are being presented here. So let's go back to the beginning. You have this woman. She said she got hit in the face with a brick because she did not give this man her phone number. You have this gentleman claiming that he was there and he saw the woman instigated the situation and then threatened the man, whatever the case may be, and then he hit her in the face. Now, I want to throw out one other concept that I also did a couple videos on, but one other concept here. And that's the concept of what is actually an assault. Because again, this is something that people don't understand. There's a difference in the law between assault and battery. Assault and battery. An assault is making someone feel reasonably in apprehension for their safety. You don't have to touch the person. You just gotta make them feel unsecure, and you've assaulted them. The battery, on the other hand, is actual unwanted touch. It can be something simple. Hey buddy, how you doing? Tapping someone on the shoulder. If they didn't like that, technically you committed a battery. Now, obviously that's not the same as the champ, right? But it's still the same because they're both batteries in different degrees. So why I bring this up is one thing that the gentleman said in his video was that she was in, if I remember correctly, she was in his face. And if she was in his face, insulting him, threatening him, whatever the case may be, she assaulted him. She assaulted him. And arguably, he had the right to defend himself. Yes, something a lot of people aren't talking about. That if you jump in someone's face, they have the right to make sure that you don't hit them. To make sure, even if it means overwhelming force. Now the question would be, is the amount of force reasonable? And that's a question for a jury. But if he were, this person, if he's ever caught, were to assert a self-defense claim, the prosecutor would have to prove that that claim was not legitimate, that he used force that was unreasonable. And women tend to walk around, and some women, I'm not gonna say who, some women tend to walk around and jump in people's faces and do things and then think that they're immune to any type of retaliation because in their world, in their mindset, women are not supposed to be hit back. But that's not the law. That's a social concept. A social concept. Just like the one where women are supposed to be barefoot in the kitchen. Just like the one where men are supposed to make more money than women. Yeah, those are social concepts. And when you want equality, it means equal rights and equal lefts. That's a joke, but it's kind of true. And to that point, and again, this video has been leaked around the internet, and I want to play it, but I'll come back with a caveat on the other side.
This is for the fact that you're a white man and I'm a black woman. I have less privilege than you. Thank you.
I feel bad.
For all the rappers and public figures in general who said that Sukiyana and other women who rap about their bodies vulgarly are just going to be touched because they bring it onto themselves, just know that when you're talking about your money and how much like a trick, it will be touched. It will be touched. And I'm going to start tonight.
Well, there you see the same young lady walk up to a gentleman, smack him in his face, and then twerk. It to me, it is so unbecoming and just so mind-blowing that this idea that I'm gonna twerk on you, ha ha ha, like it's almost like it's from Fortnite or something, like when you used to teabag like guys like after you win the battle or whatever the case, like, you know, a gunfight, like whatever. It's madness to me. It's madness. This idea that these women think that, if I twerk, I did something. No, it's not ladylike. It's not becoming. And yet, this is what you have. Now, I want to play the other side of that, which is some people have said that's just a skit. And so maybe it's just a skit, right? There's another one. I'll try to post it or find it. If I did, it'll go with the other one. But there's 2 times where she, you know, smacks, I can say that, smacks another man in a wheelchair and claims his reparations spelled wrong. It could be a skit. It could be just who she is. But you heard this person in the video, this man, saying that she's problematic, that she wants attention. And I'll give him a little bit of my commentary here. You would be surprised how easily we can find people if we want them, if we want you. I'm not going to give away any secrets, but I can tell you, if you're in New York City, we can find you if we want to, right? This woman got hit in the head with a brick, allegedly. I'm saying allegedly because, you know, I wasn't there, so there's no video of it, but, you know, say she did. I'm not calling her a liar, I'm just saying she did, allegedly. And instead of taking her phone out to call the police, she took her phone out to post to social media. To post to social media. Why? Did she take her phone out and get a picture of that guy's license plate? Because if you got a picture of the license plate, we can run it and we can find the guy. Easy day. Easy day. But you didn't. What you wanted to do was be TikTok famous. You gotta, let me see if I can, let me get it right here. Guys, let me tell you what happened to me on TikTok. Clearly, it was a serious situation. She went to the hospital. Do you see the side of her face? But that's the problematic mindset that we have in today's world. And I'm doing it here, right? I mean, who knows who will watch this? Maybe no one will watch it. But what happened here is this woman decided, rather than secure my safety, get the person who violated me, it was more important to her to post to social media. And all these videos, every video I've seen so far, I mean, you can tell me there's more, I'm open to taking my help, let me know in the comments. But every video I've seen, you know who's been blamed? Black men, and black men. Black men don't have to protect you. I just told you in the beginning of the video, even as a law enforcement officer, I don't have to protect you. I don't have to throw my life away pulling my gun out and shooting that guy because you got into an altercation with him. I don't have to. And what, let's just say, I do, right? I jump up. Here I come, white knight, John Cena, running down there. Here I come. I save her, right? And I knock dude out, and I'm getting into a fight. And let's just play both sides of it. How's it gonna work out at the end? One, I win the fight, right? Now I got an assault charge. I'm in jail, right? I lose my law license. I may lose my job. I gotta pay lawyers' fees, right? I told you my firm bills $6.50 an hour. I'm still a partner in a law firm. That's what we bill, $6.50 an hour, man. That's what we do, out here. So now I gotta pay all that money. We're looking for a retainer on a case like that. Even if I am innocent and plead everything right, it still may cost me $10, $20, $30, $50,000 because of that legal case, right? Is she chipping in? Nope. There ain't no GoFundMe or nothing. Be on your own, playboy. Okay. Other side. Let's say I lose the fight. He pulls out the blinky. He pulls out the yip yap right there. You know what I mean? Catch me a couple times in the right spots, right? Pulls out the pow pow. You know what I'm saying? And what happens? Now I'm laying there on the floor, looking up at the sky, fading out, bleeding out. My family's out here wondering what happened to me. Who's gonna take care of them? Are you gonna take care of the family? You gonna take care of my family? But I don't have no kids. Maury ain't called me, but you gonna take care? You gonna take care of my family? No, you're not. You probably won't even show up to my funeral. In fact, I almost guarantee you'll try to make money off of it. Oh, sad things like that. And you won't be at my funeral. You won't care. You'll forget about me. And you know what you'll do in a couple months later? You'll be right back out in them streets doing it again. And my life would be thrown away for nothing. So, I have an obligation to protect my family. And I also have an obligation, like my man said, to come home to my family. Because I'm not getting involved. And frankly, I'll tell you why. And here I'll come to an end on this video soon. This is why. Because domestic violence situations are some of the worst situations that we're trained to deal with. Because the sides are real shaky. If I come in there and I see this woman come and getting beat up by a dude, and I jump on the dude, you know who the first person gonna jump on me? The woman. The woman. You know the first person who's gonna testify against me that I hurt her man? The woman. I actually had this happen. Well, not really, but in part, we saw it. I'll tell you again, quick and dirty story. I went to law school in Singapore in part, and my buddy and I were in Malaysia, and we saw the craziest thing. And it wasn't my country, but this woman was sitting in front of the bar. I don't know what she did because I don't speak Malay or whatever they were talking. And she was sitting there, and the dude she had her head down, and her boyfriend was I guess he was some important, might have been one of the princes or whatever, and he was just going going in on her on the language, and he would just kick the chair, bang, bang, kick her, and my buddy and I looked, and we were like, yo, what, yo, we kind of jumped up to say something, and then we got to thinking on it. We not in our country. I'm from America, he's from Canada. We don't know the rules here. And clearly the dude had money because he pulled up in the drop top Ferrari, Porsche, whatever it was. So he was somebody, and we weren't anybody. I'm not getting involved because me getting involved has no positive outcome for me. And that's what a lot of people need to understand. So here's the point. As a man, I have no right to say what a woman does with her body and her life. However, what's happening here is they expect us to be responsible for the consequences of what they do with their body and their life. And that's not fair. That's not equality. That's no different than a child. When you see a child, that child, you can tell them not to do something, but you're responsible for that child ultimately. But women aren't children. They're grown adults. In most cases, they're grown adults and they have agency and they know the consequences of their actions, but they choose in many cases to still engage in those actions because they live consequence free. Because just like the lady in this video, they think that some man is supposed to jump in and take the consequences of their actions. Now, I just want to be clear, I was not there, so I don't know what happened. I don't know if she hit him first or there was some other confrontation. Did she attack him? And again, to be clear, an attack does not have to be physical. Just the cutting words that some people use. There's a concept called the fighting words doctrine, which basically suggests if you invoke someone to a fight, then you're responsible for the concept. I mean, it's a dated concept and it really doesn't really exist in law today, but it's still there. And so often, men use their physical hands and their might to physically attack each other. But women so often use their words to cut mentally, and it's the same attack. We see physical damage, but we don't see the mental damage that people do through spreading rumors and just think about your office place. Think about things like that. These are things that they do. And then when those attacks happen, they feel that they're justified in not having any type of retaliation, or for a man to be the one to suffer the consequences of those attacks. So think about this. Let's just say she jumped up in his face and she said X, Y, Z, Z, Y, X, just like the gentleman in the video said. And the man stood there, he took it, and finally, you don't know where somebody is in their head, because this is the problem we have in society in America. We don't know where people are in their head. People are so wound up, and then the next thing you know, you say one thing, it's the straw that breaks the camel's back, and that person snaps, and they go off on you. They hit you with a brick, maybe, right? It's the consequences to your actions. But now, what you want, ma'am, is you did whatever, allegedly, maybe, you did whatever, but you expect some man to come in and jump in and take the consequence of your actions. Meanwhile, if the man would have stood there and said, hey, don't say that. Don't back off. Don't back, and physically pushed her back. You know what she would have said? How dare this man come and try to take my woman body and tell me what I could say, because a man is basically restraining me, and this is it's some kind of ist. I won't say it because I don't want to be demonetized. I'm not even monetized, but whatever. It's some type of ist. So I'm not allowed to tell you how not to get into conflict. I'm not allowed to protect you from instigating the conflict. But I am responsible when you talk your way into a conflict, and now I gotta jump in and physically put my body on the line to protect you. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And it doesn't make sense. But let's move on to some other legal concepts. There are two other concepts I want to touch on really quickly before I end the video. The first is the rescue doctrine. I talked about this a little bit when I talked about my last video, and you can hear more about it in that video. But in general, this is the idea that if you cause a person to be in peril, you have a duty to rescue that person. So there are four elements that need to be established before we talk about the rescue doctrine. The first is you cause the person to be in peril. The second is that peril needs to be imminent. The third is that a reasonable person would have to recognize that the peril is imminent. And fourth, you have to take a reasonable effort to protect or rescue that person from the peril. Obviously, that doesn't apply here. So when people are talking about this concept, they don't know what they're saying. These men didn't cause her to be in peril. So there's no duty under the rescue doctrine to help her. The second concept that I want to talk about is the old bystander effect. I apologize. The bystander effect. Because I keep hearing these things over and over, and I'm trying to remember all these things that people are saying. The bystander effect is a social science concept, and I'm a lawyer, so I'm not going to get too deep into that. But the idea is that when you see, there's a group of people that see someone in danger, no one acts because they assume that somebody else is going to act, and so therefore everyone just kind of sits back and watches. Now, I've heard people say over and over again, well, that's 100% accurate. That always happens, because that's not a law. It's a social science theory. I've seen times where there's something happens and 10 people happen. 9/11, by way of example. How many people ran and stepped up during 9/11? Was that the bystander effect? So this idea again that the reason why these men didn't help was because of the bystander effect, or that they had a duty to help her because of this rescue doctrine or a Good Samaritan law, it's not true. It's not true. In the United States of America, we have freedom. And what that means is you are responsible for you. The police are not responsible for you. I am not responsible for you. And women, that man who you probably dissed is also not responsible for you. And if you so happen to feel that he's not a real man because he didn't protect you, that's on you. You have every right to believe that. But men, you don't have to help them. You don't have to. You could want to, and you could feel in your soul that that's the right thing to do. Generally, that may be how I was brought up somehow. Sometimes that was how I was brought up, but sometimes I do. I mean, but am I gonna lay down my life for a woman who wouldn't have thought twice, who wouldn't even respond to my DMs, who wouldn't even have given me her number? Why would I? What do you have to gain from that situation? And that's the real concept here. Again, I want to say it again. You are not safe. You're not safe. And that's a hard pill to swallow. We have an illusion of safety in this country because we have police, because we have firefighters, and we have people who have taken the job to keep you safe. But they don't have to. You're not entitled to it. And that's what this whole video is about. Her entitlement to believing that she was safe. And the entitlement of a lot of women who think that the men should have stepped up and were obligated to step up to help her. They weren't. Nobody was. The only person who had to help her is her. That said, I'm sure there's plenty I left out. Maybe I'll make a part 2. This is already extremely long, but I want to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comments. What do you think? Was there some obligation, social contract with these men that they had to protect her? Or was she on her own? Do independent women still have a right to be protected by the men that they don't want and don't need? And I'll phrase that a different way. As a social contract in society, are men obligated to protect women? You heard my opinions, and you heard the law, but I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comments, and as always, like, follow, share, do all the things, the social media things. You know what they are. I don't know. But that's all I have to say about that for now. And that's it. So JJTP out. Peace.
Like, follow, and share for more JJTP.